The event was grand. Flags waved, cameras flashed, and the red carpet stretched across the steps of the National Assembly Hall. Inside, hundreds of people gathered: ministers, students, foreign diplomats, and journalists. At the center of it all sat Claire Dubois. She wore a bright African dress. She smiled at everyone. She waved like a celebrity. A banner above the stage read, "African sovereignty, our voice, our future." Claire had been asked to speak on the final panel, a closing session called "How Foreign Partnerships Empower Africa." She prepared her speech carefully. "Partnership," she wrote, "is built on love, truth, and trust." But as she rehearsed backstage, she had no idea that the president she had praised so many times was about to turn her praise into her downfall. President Ibrahim Traore arrived without fanfare. No speech, no announcement. He simply walked in during the middle of a panel, sat quietly, and watched her from the third row. She noticed him. She smiled again. And then, when her name was called, she stepped onto the stage with full confidence. "Burkina Faso is a shining light," she began. "I have walked its villages, spoken to its women, seen its hope." The audience clapped politely. She continued, "We, the global community, are not here to control. We are here to serve. We are your friends." And then, President Traore stood up. The crowd turned. The moderator stepped aside. Traore walked slowly to the front of the hall. "Madame Claire," he said gently, "you speak of trust. Would you trust us enough to answer a few questions? Live?" Claire froze. Of course," she replied, trying to laugh it off, but the room was silent now. The clapping had stopped. The cameras had zoomed in, and on the screen behind her, a file appeared, labeled BF-Field Access-V2.PDF. She turned. Her eyes widened. It was her map. And this conference was no longer a celebration. It was the beginning of a reckoning. The screen behind Claire glowed with red circles, marked locations, and coded names. She blinked. She swallowed hard. The smile disappeared. The file on display wasn't some random image. It was the exact classified military access map she had sent 2 nights earlier, from her hotel room, to an encrypted server in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. President Ibrahim Traore stood calmly in front of her. "Claire," he said softly, "do you recognize this?" She hesitated. I'm not sure where this came from." He didn't interrupt. Instead, another document appeared behind her, an email. The sender, claire.dubois@hopeforward.org. The subject, Phase Orange, Tracking Comm Vehicles, Civilian-Friendly Zones. The body, BF West routes exposed, minimal resistance from volunteers. Use school visits for visual confirmation. Mission continues. Her own words. Gasps filled the room. Even the foreign diplomats leaned forward in disbelief. A local journalist stood up from the back row and shouted, "She was spying on the army, using women and children to hide her mission." Claire's hands began to shake. "This isn't what it looks like," she said quickly. "I was only sending data for fundraising." "Fundraising?" Traore asked quietly. He turned to the audience. "We cloned her devices. Every file, every message. We traced her instructions from Abidjan to a NATO-linked office titled Cultural Research Desk. She said she came to help our women, but she came to weaken our defense. And worse, she did it while holding our children's hands." Claire started crying. Tears ran down her cheeks as the truth hit her. Not just the evidence, but the eyes of hundreds of people watching her crumble on stage. One woman in the audience stood up and shouted, "You used us! You lied to us!" Another whispered, "She took photos of my child." I trusted her. Claire dropped the mic. She looked to Traore. "Please, can we talk in private? Not like this." But he didn't answer. He simply stepped aside as two plainclothes officers walked onto the stage. They didn't touch her. They didn't force her. They just stood beside her, waiting.
Thank you for watching African Warriors. Please share, like, comment, and share our videos. God bless Africa.